Hello guys, got a video today showing you how you can consistently make over 1 million gil an hour through gathering in Final Fantasy XIV, as of patch 3.3 at least. I use a timetable based on the Eorzean day to try and combine slightly different facets of gathering to spice it up a little bit, and also because it makes you the most money, in my experience at least. Right, let's just jump into it then. To start with, you'll need level 60 in mining and botany. It is possible to do most of it if you're at least level 50 in these, but you are going to be limiting yourself somewhat, so if you're not there yet, go do some levs. You'll also need that ever so expensive item level 140/150 gear set with at least 600 GP. The disciplines of the land still don't really have any requirements. In the long run, getting 700 GP I guess would be a good goal, but this is all possible to do with pretty much bog standard gear. You can also fill up gear slots with the now blue script gathering gear if you like. It's pretty good, but it's not 100% necessary. You'll also want to stock up on cordials. They are the lifeblood of the gatherers, so if you've got a load of Grand Company seals lying around, go and spend them. On my server, cordials are 2000 gil each, and I managed to get through about a dozen per Eorzean day, so anything to minimise costs I guess. You might also want to use some third-party software to remind you what you need to be doing. Personally, I mainly use a spreadsheet, but there's some software that I've used before. I'd recommend Discerning Eye, or you can use the old FFXIV clock over on their website, or you can download the app if possible. Neither are perfect, but both are pretty darn good. I'll link to third-party stuff in the description and also to my spreadsheet too. Great thing about making money through the disciplines of the lands is that there is such a low barrier to entry. Whilst higher tier crafting will make you far more profit than this will, it requires a huge time and gil investment to be in a position where it is faster. It's also great because you can jump in any time, have something to do and make some progress. That, and since you're constantly teleporting around, sometimes gathering gets a bit hectic actually. And just slightly varying the activity, to me, makes it feel less dull than it does if I was to just sit and gather in the same spot for an hour and 10 minutes. Besides, diversifying the stuff you sell helps to mitigate any market disasters and also to avoid oversaturation of markets, which happens frequently and manages to cause price plummets. One thing to look out for though, whilst the items I gather on this sort of path are profitable at the moment, it's likely that they won't be forever. Items fluctuate even from day to day, hour to hour. So just be vigilant. Check prices and sale quantities of the items you're gathering every so often. I'm playing on Lich and recording this at the end of June, about 2 weeks after patch 3.3 landed, and there's always a surge in prices after patches, so bear that in mind as well. Before I go through the path that I follow to make some pocket money, you'll hear me refer to 3 periods, which are basically just periods of time where you won't be gathering, travelling to an unspoiled node, or waiting for one. In this period you can do whatever you want really. Gather up red scripts, just traditional gathering up of raw materials, ephemeral nodes, gather up some blue scripts, anything you want really, including doing nothing, it's up to you, but I'll just show you what I do mostly. Right, let's begin. We'll start at midnight and we'll go through to midnight on the next day. And we're here just north of OK Zundu in the Sea of Clouds, and with Truth of the Mountains on, we're going to be grabbing an unspoiled node first as a miner to collect Ablathian rock salt. Always in demand because it's used in draconian potions, and also because the demand for blue scripts has soared since 3.3. The demand for the salt has increased due to their use in cockatrice meatballs. Good item. It's available every 35 minutes or so, but you'll see later that there's a few items that can also take this slot. On every unspoiled node you'll see that I don't use anything but King's Yield 2 or Blessed Harvest 2. It's quick and easy, and you hold on to an extra 100 GP compared to some of the other stuff you could use here. It's up to you though I guess. You'll be spending more time waiting around and you might end up missing a couple of nodes. You also want to try and get into the habit of using cordials straight after a gather if you're going elsewhere to gather from an unspoiled node, though I'm admittedly pretty bad at remembering myself. It just saves time if you've got a lot of unspoiled nodes to get to. Next we're going to be grabbing grade 4 carbonized matter from Mordona, and carbonized matter has exploded in price since the Beastman dailies started giving out tier 4 materia, was that 3.2 I think, and it's just stayed really high since. So switch to Botanist and put on Truth of Forests, both of which you can do on your mount. Then head down to St. Coinetch's find here, and you'll be coming here 6 times within an Eorzean day, 3 times as a botanist and 3 as a miner. When you're a botanist, the nodes spawn to the far east of the map, whereas the miner nodes will pop up somewhere between St. Coinetch's and Revenant's Toll. Again, just boost your yield here and grab those yummy matters. As a botanist, still head now to Hawthorn Hut in the Shroud to get some silkworm cocoons, previously crawler cocoons. They're not really in demand any more than they have been, probably even less so, but less people also gather them, so the price has been consistently good since the launch of A Realm Reborn really. Next we're going to wait around a little bit. We need to get 500 GP back up before we go to our next node to get Darksteel ore. You could just wait if you like. Well, there's some nodes here you can gather wind shards from. There's some gill buns a little bit further on, but I do the wind shards because these do occasionally drop grade 1 shroud soil, which can sell for 10 to 15,000 gil at present, so just try your luck. When you're a little bit over 400 GP, you can teleport to Camp Dragonhead, RIP. Though depending on how quick your PC transitions between maps, then you could leave it a little bit longer. I really need to get a solid state drive. That's my next upgrade, but my computer's a little bit slow. Same thing here, just King's Yield 2 and go ham. Just a little point here. The Eorzean Reborn nodes last for 3 Eorzean hours, where the Heavensward ones only last for 1, which allows you to get multiple Eorzean Reborn ones that spawn simultaneously, but not the Heavensward ones. Okay, we've hit our first free period until about 7 AM ET now, when we'll teleport to Mordona and get the next set of carbonised matter. I've opted to gather dark chestnut logs, but also the dark chestnuts too when they pop up, again because blue scripts have gone up in demand. Marron Glacé has 2 since it's a pretty good item to make for them, and dark chestnuts are the main limiting ingredient in that, so they sell like crazy and for good gil. Not much else to say here, just be wary of using energy after about 6 AM ET, since you'll want it for the unspoiled node more. Just going to skip ahead, it's just more of the same thing over and over. Right, off to Mordona again as a botanist, so we're going to go far east and get the node. The carbonised matter spawn every 4 hours and they last for free, so what we're trying to do here is catch the tail end of the carbonised matter, wait a little bit and then catch the next one as it comes up so we don't have to keep coming away and then coming back because it wastes time. If you want to head to Revenant's Toll here to sell your shit or go get a drink or twiddle your thumbs or whatever, then you can, but there's not much point in moving too far. At 9 AM you can grab the matter and move on. From now on, all the carbonised matter will be as a miner, just so you know. Now, cordial up and head off to Camp Drybone because we're going to be mining up some gold. Bit of a run to the east for gold. It's in the same camp as Darksteel and Silkworm cocoons, and the demand is always there, maybe slightly less than Eorzean Reborn, but then there's slightly less people gathering it, so it's a good source of money. Back to Kerfur's Central Highlands RIP and head north as botanist for spruce logs. Time gets a bit short here and we don't have time to use a cordial before our next unspoiled node. Fortunately, spruce log is one of the shittier items you can gather, so not much of a loss to not use King's Yield. That said, the Eorzean Reborn nodes mostly give free items at base anyway, so there's that as well. And then you want to be using your cordial as soon as you can after gathering from the spruce tree because you'll need it for later. Right, off to Azizlar as a miner now for some sweet adamantite ore, which is in demand because it's used in fucking everything in Heavensward recipes. You can also use it as a turn-in item for red scripts if you want. I prefer the gil here, but it's really up to you. You will need 600 GP to get a good rotation for collectible hand-ins, though, so be aware of that. Also, use stealth here, don't be that guy. Right, China Mist now and teleport to the Zenith and head far north in preparation of the next node. We're going to grab a Dravanian Mistletoe here, but Porcini from the same node is relatively good too, so make sure you check prices on your server to see what's best to grab. Right, we're about halfway through the Eorzean day now, and we've got a little bit of free time until the next unspoiled node. But since we're in the churning mists, I like to head down a little and mine for Cloud Mica or Hard Silver Sand, both of which have sold relatively well since Heavensward began. You're also able to get yourself a Dragonskin treasure map here if you haven't already, and the ephemeral node is located in this spot as well if you want it. Generally I don't put too much emphasis on the ephemeral nodes, it's a bit much RNG and heavy GP costs to get good collectibles from it, but sometimes you'll luck out and you'll get some expensive ether sand. If you exclusively want to gather from the ephemeral node, all you need to do is begin mining one node in one of the pairs, cancel that, fly over to another pair and start mining with one, cancel that, and that will make the ephemeral node respawn. You don't actually have to complete the mine, just initiate it. Again though, I'm not mad keen on the ephemeral nodes, but the option's there whenever you want it. Not staying here long mind you, and at 3 PM ET, head back to Mordona, gather up a couple more carbonised matter. Wait after the first node is completed and then get the next one. Now, this is a super secret gil growing extravaganza that has always been super expensive and still barely anyone gathers it. I'm talking about volcanic rock salt, so head off to Wineport to collect it. You'll notice that when you gather it, it actually gives a yield of 5, which after a king's yield bumps up to 7, giving you 35 of the salt each time you visit it. The standard is about 1,500 to 2,000 gil each. High quality can be up to about 3,000, so you know, do the maths. We're back in a free period here, and I'm going to be heading to Kurthas West to get some mithrite ore. It's not my favourite, but I've done a round already today, and the high quality mithrite sells for crazy amounts of gil. Again, have a little look for the recommended items on the spreadsheet I linked. Check the prices on your market board and have a think about what you want to get. Alternatively, you can follow the ephemeral nodes around. At this point they're in the Sea of Clouds with the birch sap and the birch logs. That's also a good spot. You get a good long while in this free period, so make sure you're gathering up a good one. Okay, the final pair of unspoiled nodes now. Back to Mordona as a miner for your final carbonized matter. You'll end up with at least 90, though you can randomly get increases to your yield. And last I checked, grade 4 carbonized matter was 3.5k gil, so at the bare minimum you'll be getting just over 300,000, though luck permitting you could get 350,000 from the carbonized matter alone. But finally we're going to be heading back to Az's Lair for the adamantite ore, red script or not, get it up and then either head back to OK Zundu or pat yourself on the back and sell your fat loots. So I'll quickly just show you the loot that I got. There's about 50 wind shards and a few crystals and clusters here and there. Right now on Lich, the gathers from this are valued at 1,188,485 gil. But since Eorzean days are marginally longer than an hour, it comes down to 1,018,701 gil per hour. Just breaking into the 1 million zone. It wasn't the first round of the day, so no dragon skin map for me there, but this is pretty much the standard. And that is the path I follow in order to earn over 1 million gil consistently on Final Fantasy XIV. It's not the best by any means, I'm sure plenty of people can do it way better, and it pales in comparison to crafting, but it's easy, there's practically no barriers to entry, and most of all, it doesn't bore me. Too much at least. Anyway, use the third party stuff I'm linking, it'll make your life a lot easier, especially if you're easily distracted like me. If you liked the video, let me know via a like, comment or subscribe. As always guys, thanks for watching and happy gathering.